Ganesh sloka. Then after that we have a video of Pada Puja done by different people. So after Pad Puja video, Mr. Shankar will take over.
Yeah, one small correction.
Yes.
Once you finish the Ganesha slogan, I will say something about the Pada exhibition. Then you can do the display of the Padas.
Yes, sir. No problem. सर्वविघ्नहरं देवं सर्वविघ्नविवर्जितं सर्वसिद्धिप्रदातारं वन्देऽहं गणनायकम् Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Jai Nandalala, Madhivali Saranam. Before we go into the play of all the padas that have been received from so many people, I would like to share a few words on this occasion. Today is 9th October 2020, 80 years, and we are congregating at the fusion of Sabdami and Ashtami in Adudira Nakshatra. It's a very, very auspicious time for Bhairava. Why we made this attempt? Kalyani has been talking to me, we should do something different, we should get more people, and it is an occasion, why can't we get Pada Puja done at everybody's place, and we can do it. We cannot virtually connect several homes and have a live Pada Puja, so we thought why can't we make a slight deviation and let people do Pada Puja at their respective homes and get the photos so that we can display them. I am very happy to say that we have got overwhelming participation. 157 pictures have been posted to us. It's very, very important. And this shows the devotion we have for our Akka, and all and sundry, without language, creed, status. Just give you a simple tip. We know the caretakers in Akka's house, Kamachi and Seth at our temple. They have performed a beautiful puja. They don't have any of the gadgets we have. They know that we are going to display. And they did a very good job. And simple thing like, they have moved with Akka every now and then. Whatever Akka liked, they understood what she liked. It could be even a simple berry fruit, arnelika, which they offered Akka and shared that photo with us. That is also part of this display. So in this display, we have got variety. Simple ones, grand ones. We can keep on asking about everything is unique in its own way. Because every bhakti is unique. So there is no need to compare one pada with the other pada. Second is that as we display these divine photos, we need to engage ourselves. So we decided that why not play a nice song or lyric or music, because it's going to take about 9 to 10 minutes for display of all the photos. What Mandar and Kalyani have done beautifully is that collated these photos, put the names of every contributor under each photo. So each photo will be displayed separately and uniquely during this song. Now, the songs that are chosen are very, very unique. We have chosen about 4 lyrics from Soundarya-Lagari, which have been given by Akka in the past. And we have chosen one beautiful lyric written by Kannamani Mama in his last days on the significance and the uniqueness of Akka's Pada. How Akka's Pada removes all the problems, how it benefits every devotee. And it is about 108 things I support that has been set to beautiful music. The first lyric will be from Soundarya-Lagari 14, which is talking about Padambujam, the glory of the lotus feet of Devi, which is the embodiment of all the 360 colors. All the chakras are embodied in that. The next is Saraswati Kadacham, that is Sloka 16. And this particular verse was chosen by Akka in the long past. If you want to address a meeting, if you want to participate, if you want to attract people with your beautiful words, you take this stanza, recite it for 5 times and go to the meeting, everybody will be spellbound the way you speak. We have chosen this for this purpose. We should be spellbound by what is going to happen today. The next is that Sloka 53, once again, by invoking Sloka 53, before a ghee lamp, we will be able to visualize Sri Akka in whatever form she chooses to give us. You can see her in some form or the other. Then, as the first of these songs, the lyrics of Soundilagiri will be followed by the Pada song of Lakshmi Narayanan, and then we'll end with there is one sloka 4 in Soundilagiri. I think Akka has been guiding us right through. I can quote several extras, at least I'll quote one now, one little later. We have compiled these songs, tuned them. Janani from Madras has sung it very beautifully. But this morning, Akka, I was not able to sleep at all for whatever reason, I do not know. Around 3:30 in the morning, Akka came into a dream. You left out one song that is for Ketu. I didn't understand what Akka is talking about, Ketu. I know Ketu is for removing the kind of current corona we see. That is the Lord for that, removing Vishajuras and all those things. Immediately, it came to my mind, Sloka 4, which talks about the lotus feet of goddess, is prescribed for pleasing Ketu Bhagavan, as per the Soundilagiri Navagraha Parampara. Immediately, that song I chose, I was able to land on it at about 12 o'clock. I spoke to Janani. She immediately tuned it and sent it back. That will appear at the end of the song. The beauty of the Sloka 4 is that Devi does not have 4 hands. She has got only 2 hands. They neither best do anything. The very dust in her feet removes all of our fears. That's very, 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 very important. And let us now go through the display. My sincere suggestion will be that there are about 157 displays. Each will carry a name. I would suggest that let us not look whether our name appears or not, because it distracts. Listen to the song. Look at the glory of the feet at every devotee's house and our temples. This is being recorded, and we'll be sending the link to you in a couple of days. Then we can, at leisure, we can stop, pause, and see who has decorated how the padas, so that we get certain inspiration from that. Now over to Kalyani to display the various padas received from various people, and with the song therein. Thank you.
क्षितौ षट्पञ्चाशत् विषमधिकपञ्चाशदुदके हुताशे द्वाषष्टिश्चतुरधिकपञ्चाशदनिले दिवि द्विषट्त्रिंशन् मनसि च चतुष्षष्टिरिति ये मयूखास्तेषामप्युपरि तव पादाम्बुज युगम् कवीन्द्राणां चेतः कमलवनबालातपरुचिम् भजन्ते ये सन्तः कतिचिदरुणामेव भवति विरिञ्चि प्रेयस्याः तरुणतरशृङ्गारलहरी गभीराभिर्वाग्भिर्विदधति सतां रञ्जनममी विभक्तत्रैवर्ण्यं व्यतिकरितलीलाञ्जनतया विभाति त्वन्नेत्रत्रितयमिदमीशानदयिते पुनः स्रष्टुं देवान् द्रुहिण हरिरुद्रानुपरता रजसत्वं बिभ्रत्तम इति गुणानां त्रयमिव மூர்த்திகளும் போற்றும் பாதம், ஏழு வகை தாமரைகளில் எழும்பும் பாதம், கதிரவனின் கதிர்கள் தோற்று நிற்கும் பாதம், களங்கமற்ற கரியதுவும் வணங்கி வந்த பாதம், குற்றமுள்ள மனதினர்க்கு எட்டாத பாதம், குறைவற்ற செல்வத்தை அளிக்கும் பாதம், சிலம்பொலித்து கொஞ்சி விளையாடும் பாதம், சீலமாய் வாழ்வதற்கு அருளும் பாதம், சீலமாய் வாழ்வதற்கு அருளும் பாதம். வணங்கி வந்த பாதம், சிறுமையான எண்ணங்களை போக்கும் பாதம், சிந்திப்பாரின் சிந்தையில் ஒளி வீசும் பாதம், சத்தியமே உருவாக விளங்கும் பாதம், செங்குழம்பு பூச்சால் சிவந்திருக்கும் பாதம், செந்தாமரையின் மெய்மையையும் ஏய்க்கும் பாதம், தத்துவங்களின் பொருளாக விளங்கும் பாதம், தத்துவத்திற்கும் எட்டாமல் நிற்கும் பாதம், தும்பிக்கையான் போற்றும் திவ்ய பாதம், துதிப்போரின் துயரத்தை போக்கும் பாதம், துறவிகள் மனமகிழ்ந்து துதிக்கும் பாதம், துந்துபியின் நாதத்தோடு நாடும் பாதம், தூய்மையான மனதை தெளிவாக்கும் பாதம், தெளிந்தார்க்கு தெளிவின் தெளிவாக்கும் பாதம், நாம் கை தொழுதேத்தி காணும் பாதம், நம் கணக்கு வழக்குகளையும் தீர்க்கும் பாதம், நம்பினோர் கரணாக விளங்கும் பாதம், நம்பாதவர்க்கு நடுவாக நிற்கும் பாதம், நால்வகை பலனளிக்க வல்ல பாதம், நவநிதியின் உறைவிடமாயிருக்கும் பாதம், நவநிதியின் உறைவிடமாயிருக்கும் பாதம். பணித்திடுவார் பாப்பங்கள் போக்கும் பாதம், பரிமேலே அழகாக விளங்கும் பாதம், பரவசமாய் பக்தர் மாலை சூட்டும் பாதம், பக்தியோடு பாமாலை பூட்டும் பாதம், பிரணவத்தின் பொருளாக விளங்கும் பாதம், பிரபஞ்சத்தின் உயிராக பரவும் பாதம், பொன்னி நீரை புனிதமாக்கும் புனித பாதம், பொதிகை மலை வாசியும் போற்றும் பாதம், மலர் பாதம், பொன் பாதம், மாண்பாம் பாதம், மருந்தாகி மக்கள் பிணி தீர்க்கும் பாதம், மெய்யுருகி நாம் ஏத்தி ஆட்டும் பாதம், மெய்யாக என்றென்றும் நிற்கும் பாதம், மூன்று வித தாபங்களை போக்கும் பாதம், மூவுலகின் ஆதாரமாய் விளங்கும் பாதம், வாடாமலர் சூட்டி வைத்து போற்றும் பாதம், வானவர்கள் தாழ்வணங்கி வாழ்த்தும் பாதம், வேண்டுவோர்க்கு வேண்டும் வரம் அளிக்கும் பாதம், வேதனைகள் பலவற்றை சரஸ்வதியின் மங்கள பாதம் நதியொளி சரஸ்வதியின் மங்கள பாதம் மங்கள பாதம் மங்கள பாதம் त्वदन्यः पाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगणः त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्याभिनया भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणौ
It was a great experience. A great procession of Sri Akka across the globe, from east to west and north to south. I don't think you could have had this experience even when Akka was present among us. I would like to share one unique experience, which I thought it was private. In this Padam song, there is one line, Chilindi Valaikudi Valipatta Padam. English, it means a spider which worshipped Lord Jambugeshwara and Agilandeswari in the shrine. I didn't know the significance until I heard this, right this moment. When we are doing the Pada Puja, I know we are doing it much ahead of 9th and then we are sharing this. Is it appropriate? No, always sometimes you get a doubt. But the overwhelming response made me do a puja at my house on this last Sunday. We prepared a table where Akka used to stand and bless devotees in that place. And then we placed the padam and made a simple decoration, whatever we can do. As I started performing puja, from nowhere from the ceiling, a small black spider started hanging down. It was right in front of the lotus feet of Akka on the photo till I finished the puja and completed the arati. Thereafter it disappeared. It did not, normally it should have hung from somewhere. I could see the thread, but I could not know where it went and it disappeared all of a sudden. I thought I should share it with you because Akka has blessed this entire satsang, and otherwise we could not have got this kind of a response, and it's great. And I'm really, thankful to every one of you who have taken your time, because everybody is going to office and there are people now sitting at home thanks to Corona and finding time to do a puja. And then when you do want to do a puja, we want to do it properly because we want to exhibit it somewhere. Naturally, that urge to do better also comes in. It's a wonderful experience. Everybody has done their best job. I think Akka is present everywhere now. Egan Anegan Irevanadi Potri. Uru Akka, Nutyambati Padama, Attanabira Namapatrikon. That's a great experience. Next, going before the topic, I want to talk something about veil, which Akka held. Can you place that photograph, Kalyani? Akka holding the veil? Good evening. This is a photo all of us are familiar with. The last of the big congregation of homams that happened in Nandalala group was the Subramanya Pasvadastra homam. This was specifically blessed by Akka. When we wanted to do something for Subramanya, Nandalala had never done anything. Akka said, yes, you should do. Then there is Subramanya Homa and there is a Subramanya Pasvadastra Homa. She said, do the Subramanya Pasvadastra Homa very elaborately. And it was done with a veil, and most of us know how the veil was worshipped with 6 different kind of naivedyams, and it was a 2-day affair. And when we asked Akka, can I hand over this veil to you? Please come. Then Akka really obliged us in that satsang on Adi month in 2017. She sat there for a very long time. We offered the veil to her. We offered the 6 Naivedyam, which we offered at the Homa, and she just partook every one of this, and she chose this veil to show everybody. I never knew that what was significant with Akka holding a veil. I have seen Akka holding a conch. I have seen Akka holding a lotus flower. She never, I don't, to my knowledge, she never adorned a weapon and showed it. At that point in time, if I remember right, Mrs. Ravindran also would know, we gave one book on Skanda Puranam to Akka. Akka said, okay, you read it in Bangalore, let Jayashree read at my house. And that was gone. As it was culminating, we were completing that chanting, this Homa took place. And this particular veil is very important. As per Arguninathar, he says that, Arindadi in Talaimil, Ayan Kayyarite. What does it say is that the veil of Lord Muruga removes the fate written by Brahma on my head. No other God can do that. Because Lord Shiva and Lord Subramania are not different. They are one and the same. Shiva has 5 faces. The 6th face is Adhomuga, that is Subramania. And this veil doesn't kill anybody. Even Surya Padma split him into 2, made one as a sable, the other roost, and the other as peacock. That means he gave it, he rewrote his destiny with his veil and gave him 2 different kinds of thing to adorn him. And this veil is nothing other than a baton. I personally felt that whenever I feel that destiny is preventing me from doing something, when I get many hurdles where I cannot achieve something, if I chant Vinayatiri Pratikam, keeping this photo in my mind or meditating, I think it is rewritten. Things which would never would have happened. I believe this veil overtakes the fate. I've given the secret to you. Feeling that, oh God, this is my fate, I reconcile my destiny, chant Vinayatiri Pratikam at least 5 times before this particular photo, or meditate on this photo, you will see your destiny is being rewritten. And veil is what she is handing over to us. She knew in way back in 2017, 2018, she will probably discard her human body. She decided this is a baton, this is a relay race. I am going to hand over this veil to the Nandajis. You please carry my torch. And you give it to your successors, they will carry the torch. Therefore, Nandala will always be a garland, will always shine. Now, this particular thing gave me the idea to choose the topic for this satsang. Apparently, I was not prepared for this stick for a very long time because little emotional. If I read it, I always shed tears. And little complicated with some kind of philosophy put into it. But in last satsang, I had a feedback. Some people are very happy. Some people said some subjects are little too much for a younger generation to follow. I thought I will take 2 simple chapters which are very relevant for the younger generation, for their career or business, whatever it is, and take this one. But the moment this 154 lightings, all these came, I thought I should do something very different, because this particular article, it says, Ennul Karaindu Vidu, dissolve in me. Akka in a satsang always used to say that you are all sugar candies, I am water. I will melt all of you in this water, because sugar cannot be separated by any chemical process, whereas salt can be separated. And that always used to ring in my ears that this is the kind of a thing Akka has always talked about. And she wrote this article immediately after establishing Nandala Seva Siddhi, that we established in 1988. In 89-90, she wrote this article. I remember I have seen through the manuscript and I was really moved. Certain nuances I shared with her. She said, don't bother, another 50 years, nothing will happen. You will know as you go through this article why I said so. I know this long article, it could be a long evening. Akka will decide how to take it and how to end it. So what occurred to me was that instead of making one person read it, one had to make 6 people read it, because when we completed the PDF, it had 6 pages. And coincidentally, Shanmuga has got 6 faces. I chose 6 names at random and allotted 1 page to each of them. Their names seem to coincide with those pages. As we read it out in English, we'll understand why that name came to that page. I would not know how it is happened. It's all Akka's grace. Only thing I did was I wanted to choose as much as younger generation want to read it out. As they let them complete 1 page, And if there is anything for us to contribute, let us contribute. If there is anything we think it's too complicated, probably we'll reserve for another satsangam. After we give opportunity one or two people after each page, I will give what my take was in that page, so that we do it properly. At the same time, we don't elongate too much because we have a limited time to complete the whole program. The website is limited for I think 1 hour 40 minutes or so. Now let us go through this article. The first page is going to be read out by Mandar. You are going to read it, no?
Yes, uncle, I read it.
Read it slowly. This particular article is not a writing. It is a speech by Akka talking to you. Every letter. Unfortunately, I am unable to get the feeling of Tamil into English. I did my best and I prayed Akka for each line. After writing, I prayed Akka, is it correct? Is it correct? Is it correct? And was edited, re-edited. Thanks to my daughter also. I hope I captured the emotions. People who know Tamil already got the article in Tamil. Don't try to look at the English translation. If you are comfortable with Tamil, please follow the Tamil person. Thank you.
Dissolve in me. Translation of the very first Tamil article, Ennul Karaindu Vidu, written by Sri Akka in 1989-90, following the establishment of Nandalala Seva Samiti. My love persuades me to approach, or rather seek you. My tongue speaks what is good for you alone. My ears like to listen only to you. My eyes keenly observe nothing but your growth. This is the root and resounding voice of Nandalala Seva Samiti. The waves of sound created by this voice is the voice of the Vedas. The pleasantness of the moon, the warmth of the sun, the peace of the deep ocean, the gentleness of the breeze, and the greatness of the earth, all culminating into a noble name, Nandalala, the affectionate name that is sweet and noble, that name which I want to adorn, to enter the homes of every one of you, to fulfill my yearning to be an inseparable part of you and your household that gave birth to Nandalala Seva Samiti. Love is mother. Mother is love. My beloved mother, my mother's love. Life, force that is love, the form of which is mother. This mother is Nandalala Seva Samiti. She has merged into each one of you. Every place appears to me as Shiva Loha. The very sand on this earth appears as Shiva Linga. How and where can I place my feet and walk on it? This is the mourning of a little child. He cried out, Amma, Amma, hesitating to put his tender foot forward. Responding to this cry, mother appeared instantaneously. She carried this baby on her waist and walked across. The consort of Lord Shiva is this gracious mother. She earned the name Pillai Idukku Amman, mother who carried the child on her waist. Captivating idol in this form is at the holy shrine at Tiruvekkadu and worshipped fervently. The child is one who later came to be known as the great saint Tirugnana Sambandar. This is the event where the mother earned her name and glory. This is the event where the child made his mother proud. We shall all strive to bring an event where mother and child made each other proud. We should all strive to bring glory to Nandalala Seva Samiti, our mother, and in this process, get blessed with abundance in every respect.
Thank you, Mandar. You know, the name Mandar stands for heavenly tree. It also stands for the name of Lord Ganesha. Actually, this page was to be read out by our Hyderabad friend Sri Kantesh. Probably whatever preoccupation he had, he became the 101st person. This website does not allow more than 100%. So Mandar has to take it. Naturally, we need the Vinayaka to start something.
You look more than happy to take me.
Hello. There was some interruption.
If
Hello.
if anybody is logged in with two IDs, maybe we can see how we can reduce it to one, so others can also join, right? Just a
good suggestion. I hope somebody is in the waiting room. If two people are using IDs in the same room, they can switch to one ID and then probably one can enter. Okay, can we carry on with the article? Any observations on the first page? Balagan, let unmute, I think.
Jai Nandalala.
Yeah.
Jai Sri Ravindran here. It was a very, very pleasant experience going through all the Padam worship of Akka. Like how the Idiki Amman is taking the child on the lap. Sri Akka has taken us into her fold and carrying her, because she has carried all our difficulties and made us very happy throughout our lives. Thank you.
Any other observation? Please be free. Of course, it's too straightforward. If anybody is not forthcoming, I'll say a few words.
Can we say that the child, when it cries, mother immediately comes? So it is a message for us that Akka will always come whenever we request her, pray to her. Is it correct?
Absolutely right, because when you say that you are crying, being helpless, and you are not clinging on to your ego or 99% faith, 1% no faith, she will not appear. It's 100% surrender that she appears instantaneously. Any other view? The purport of this particular first page is that Akka doesn't distinguish between her and Nandalala. She is the mother, Nandalala is also the mother. They're all in one. She actually pleads, please make me proud. I create this Nandalala for you as your mother, because this mother will live longer. I have got a limited body. Therefore, please do justice to this Nandalala. I have made this organization to bring you all here. Number two, this particular Tiruvengadu is a place, it's full of ashes. Brahma's ego was burnt there. That is the ash we're talking about. Therefore, it's a way the total sublimation of ego. And Jnanasambandha was born as a prodigy and a Shiva devotee. Right from, he was given the milk, not even Ganesha and Subramanya. He had the milk of Uma Devi, and he started singing right from day one from Sirgaji. And this is the place he wanted to go to the Tiruvengadu temple, crossing the Kaveri river, which was dry at this point in time, full of sand. The river, it is not one full plain. It has got all these, bundles of sand, which appears like Sivalingam. He said, Shiva is everywhere. I cannot put my step down. I want to go to the temple. That's why, God herself became his mother and took him on her waist and carried across the sand and took him into the temple. And he gave a beautiful 10-verse song in that. And that temple, is dedicated to Lord Buddha. You get the Buddha, Bhagavan Sannidhi also there. There are 3 tanks there. 3 tanks are very heavy. The 3 tanks remove the 3 doshas of it. We call it Mummalam in Tamil and 3 doshas in Sanskrit. And they remove all the 3 by taking bath on that. Probably this is the place Akka also visited. I was fortunate to be with her in that temple once. And it's an amazing temple. It's a very sprawling one. You'll forget yourself, and probably we can move to the second page. Second page is Soundarya, I think. present. You have muted yourself. You have to read the second page.
She's muted, how will she hear us?
No.
Jai Nandalala. It is not possible to lead a life without love for one another. Each one of us keeps seeking some pleasure. What is pleasure for one need not be the same for another. Look at the trees. We are able to see a tree growing day by day. It lives for several years. It benefits many others. It adapts itself to all types of changing weathers, summer, winter, autumn, and so on. It also goes through the 3 phases of life: birth, growth, and death. Trees do adapt themselves to changes in weather, yet they neither have sorrow nor joy. When our minds are affected, we say, I hardened my heart like a stone. I stayed like a dead wood. Can a man live like a stone or a tree? Can he stay still like a stone or a rock? He can't stay like that beyond few moments. Let us pose the question to a tree. How are you? Are you fine? If at all the tree has faculty of speech, it would say, I am fine, experiencing summer, monsoon, and snow. These changes give happiness to the trees. That's why they remain green and alive and remain a feast to the eyes of the human race. A human being cannot experience the pleasure that a tree experiences. There are several kinds and classes of living species. So also, the tendencies, senses, etc. vary from each other. I want to experience pleasure. I want to attain pleasure. I want to live in pleasure all the time. Where is there need for us to keep seeking this? The sense of awareness, which is intelligence and knowledge in us, wakes up when we, our mind and intellect, wish to experience pleasure. The power to feel the experience resides as a divine spark of life within us. I am seated amongst you. I am talking to you. You feel very happy about it? Why do you feel happy about it? Is it because you're able to see me? Is it because you are able to hear me? All of us are assembled in the same hall. You are within touching distance. I can touch you. But there are quite a few seated at a distance. You are one of them. I may not be able to touch you, but you are very much within my sight. Therefore, I have found a place to be seated very much in you. I was witness to something recently. A dog grabbed a low-flying little sparrow. I was startled at this. There were other sparrows, cats, and dogs, but none of them was bothered. One animal observes another animal being killed, yet it keeps grazing. It has no intellect or mind to appreciate that it can also be subject to killing. Therefore, it remains in its comfort zone of grazing. Dawn arrives, dreams like to awaken. When the experience of the dream is felt, the eyes open with joy. For some, a chain of thoughts follows, like past events, victories, struggles, the roles he played, the paths he traveled, the lessons he learned at all. One who does not experience this chain of thoughts tends to believe that the one who has experienced full is full of contentment. The one who has experienced these thoughts does not realize the contentment. Neither of them is content or happy. Owing to the presence of sense organs like eyes, ears, nose, etc., we get the ability to experience through the body. Please contemplate on this. Body does not experience anything. Only through sense organs we can feel something. Neither the senses nor the body enjoy anything. In effect, the spark of life in us is the true experiencer.
Thank you, Soundarya. It was a very, very nice reading, like Mandar did.
Thank you.
we could feel that Akka is in your voice.
Thank you so much.
Can we contemplate on this? It's a little difficult stage, but we should tell some time on it. And if it is too difficult, we'll take this topic sometime later. That's some other articles of Akka. I invite observations from any of the devotees. Please feel free.
Shankar,
Yeah.
can I talk now?
Sure, you can.
I'm Saraswati Srinivasan. I'm currently staying in US. I just want to relate this incident about mother crying to comfort her child, whoever so it is. I had an experience. I really feel like crying when I think of it right now. One day I was really in a terrible state. I just wanted to see her and get over my problem. It was late at night, 9:30. I can dream of seeing her at that time. I stepped out. I said, okay, I'll stamp that house door and come. If she sees, I'll see. Otherwise, okay, that is my fate. My head was just blowing with that problem. I went, and to my surprise, the main gate was open. I stepped inside, that grill gate was open. Went, and further, the main door was also open. And nobody in the hall to send me away. Within seconds, Amma came out. That day, it was Tuesday. She was wearing a red sari and a red blouse. I said, she kindly asked me, what is your problem? I fell at her feet and explained, said, just get away. It is nothing. Go and have a nice sleep or look at the TV. You will be all right. This, I mean, she comes at that moment when she needs us, when we need her most. Just wanted to relate this incident. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Balakrishnan, this ultimately it is the Atma which is the experiencer, and the sense organs are the route through which we experience. That's what I feel. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Just I'm trying to see whether you're completing it or any other person wants to join.
Shankar?
Yes.
1 minute. In the Puttama, இது page number 46, lastல she has written, இதற்கு முன்பு எங்கே இருந்தோம் என்று கேள்வி கேட்கொண்டே இருப்பதை விட நாம் தாய்நாடு நம்மைதான் தேடிக்கொண்டே இருக்கிறது என்பதை நாம் தெளிவாக புரிந்து கொண்டால் ஆத்மாவின் தாகம் அத்துடன் அடங்கும், ஆற்றல்களின் சீற்றமும் மாற்றமும் அங்கேயே தொடங்கும்.
Yeah, this is in relation to your attachment to your country, where the country is longing for you to be born and then fight for its freedom or whatever you're talking about. It has got a context in a particular article. The context here is slightly different. They are similar, but they are not identical.
Yeah. Hello, Suresh Rao here. Yeah. What Akka is telling is about first few paragraphs. Love. Without love, you cannot lead a proper life. Why is that? We all experience attachment. All of us know we are attached to either our kids, or parents, or whatever is the thing. But here, she is giving example of the tree, which is giving out the fruits, or whatever it is, whatever be the weather, but it goes through that weather. So you ask the tree, how are you? The tree says, I'm fine, going through this summer, winter, autumn. But the same thing for a man, it is always love is a kind of attachment where it is with the selfishness. So that is why he is always having this trouble that when it is attachment is always in selfishness is taking. Now love is in giving. That is why Akka says that this life is not possible without love. That is, without the attitude of giving.
Hello, Santanam here. Can I speak?
Everybody is free to speak.
Yeah. Actually, when there is love, when we express the love in a subtle way, that means an expansion within self. I've seen a very small gestures to people or some animals or birds, anything. When the expression of love happens in the body, there is something like that's the feeling I experience. As well as when you show the thing, the happiness feels in ourselves is very great. That's the expression of love. And the Nandalala is nothing but embodiment of love. Akka is the embodiment.
Somebody has to mute
ಏನ್
there.
ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು?
Other than who is speaking, others, can you please mute?
And you can mute everybody.
Kalyan, you can mute everybody other than Santanam and me.
Yeah, actually showing love doesn't require a very big preparation or anything. It only shows small, very subtle expressions so that expresses love. That I felt many times when I look at Akka. That's what I thought I'll express.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other viewpoint? Or is it too complicated?
This is Gopi from Houston. I was just thinking that the duty that has been bestowed to the tree and the duty that has been bestowed to man may be different. But if we are able to do our duty with love and we can draw the inspiration from the tree, then we will be able to fulfill our duties in the best way that Akka expects us to. So she's giving us the tree's example to say how to do our duty with love.
Excellent. Any other viewpoint?
It even tells about the quality of that sixth sense, right? In humans, when the examples of tree or the dog or any other animal has been quoted. For the tree, I think it's been told in a way like because it is just present. It is just experiencing everything, and maybe the sense organs does not allow it to emote the feelings then and there. So more of an I think with humans having a lot of these six senses, we kind of try to emote our problems and react to the problems a lot more. But in effect, if you look at the last line, I think the last line tells it. It's neither the the senses nor the this is the senses nor the body enjoys anything. So it's about the spark in life. That sounds like the true essence of this entire page, right?
Yeah, that's a correct thing. Any other viewpoint?
My name is Mohan.
Yeah.
To me, the tree represents abundance. Abundance and a certain solitude as well as a certain stolidity. It is in samasthiti, and it is in a certain state where it experiences a whole heap of things, but it doesn't detract in any way from the way it cherishes its interaction with the rest of us, whether it's the birds or the children who go for the fruit. And also the connectedness that we all have with nature I mean, essentially, we're all the same sparks of divinity, just that we're playing different roles. So that's how I see this interconnectedness.
It was a beautiful interpretation of that page. Any other viewpoint?
Shankar uncle, this is Gopi once again. I have a question, not an observation. It makes me wonder whether the sense organs are truly necessary to experience love. That is the question.
Okay.
Because in the case of the tree, it is able to, like the uncle before me spoke, it's solid, it is in that samanila, and it is, ever giving, not thinking about anything else. And one can always argue the fact that it doesn't have the senses, right? So it is able to do that. Is it because it is able, there is no senses, it is able to do that? Or in spite of not having senses, it is able to experience the love?
I'll just park it. Any other question? Any other observation?
I feel that Balakrishnan here,
Yeah.
that it is wrong to say that there is no sensation or feelings for the tree-like objects. That, for example, the standing example is Tottal Chunangi tree. You touch it, it shrinks. So they also have a feeling, and that's why music makes it grow better, and fond words, affectionate words also make them grow better, and harsh words have been shown to destroy the tree. These have been shown experimentally.
Absolutely right. I was thinking that point only. Please, go ahead.
Soundarya, on a few occasions that I have traveled with Akka on with Tiruvannamalai, she will often say that எப்பவான நீ வந்து காத்துல வர ஓசையில நீ அந்த பேச்சை நீ புரிஞ்சதுக்க பார்த்திருக்கியா, இல்ல மரத்துக்கிட்ட போய் நின்று அது என்ன பேசுறதுன்னு கேட்டிருக்கியா, அலைகள் கிட்ட கேட்டிருக்கியா? ஸோ பறவைகள் பட்சிகள் எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஒரு பேச்சு இருக்கு. There is always conversations happening with them, and they are very much in tune with nature, like how God wills it to be. நம்ம மனுஷா, நம்ம human beings தான் அந்த அகராதாரி இது இருக்கிறதுனால எல்லாமே நாம்னு பேசுறோம். We only chatter and we listen to our chatter, not for what is there. What they do is they just go with the flow, whereas we don't, and that is where we get into all these issues, and we forget that the soul is always present, and we don't even watch over it. We just go with the flow. We get entangled into the game of life, and we forget to listen to all this. She said, ஒரு நாள் போய் பீச்ல உட்காந்து அந்த தண்ணி கிட்ட உட்காந்து கேளு. And I did. I went and sat there. It was amazing. Every little nuance of the waves, twinkling, dancing, some ferocious, some playful. It was beautiful. And I think I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Before putting the next stage, I thought I'll give a little observation on that. This particular page has got two things. One is how do we lead our life as a normal human being? Second is that how do we evolve? There are two parts to this page as I try to understand this page. There's a tree of example, and there is a paragraph on dreams, and that, that's a contentment, all those things. Coming back to that, we are the only species who have got the mind and the discriminating faculty. Others do not have. Others, like Dr. Balakrishnan said, others do have feelings. I remember Akka telling me once we were walking in the Golden Enclave and I was trying to pluck a flower for the puja. Don't pluck it very harshly, it will hurt the plant. Pluck it very nicely. It should feel nice about that it is giving it voluntarily. So that's very simple. There are feelings everywhere. The only one thing is we react to feelings in a very negative way or a positive way or in a cowardly way. But these trees, they do not react in a negative way. They accept you as a person and they keep giving whatever they want. A tree has got a lot of leaves. It gives you shade. It doesn't require it, but it stands on the open sun. It gives fruits. It doesn't eat it. It gives us, but it is happy growing that way. So if you look at it, that in the nature, every species other than the human being who's got the mind, intellect, and ego, everything is trying to give something to somebody else. extra survival instinct, somebody eats something else, let us forget about it. So the one lesson is that you should be a giver, as one of the Nandaji said, love. Yeah, you feel much happy by giving rather than taking it. This is one part of it where you are able to accept people as they are and lead a life like a tree. Because you can live like a tree by ignoring criticism of everything. Please keep on going your path. The next one is having born as a human being, you must know who you are. You are probably confusing yourself with your body, mind, and ego. That is where the whole problem arises. Therefore, if I say, this is my body, this is my this one, when I sleep like a log, I say, I slept like a log of wood. Then what did you do when you were sleeping? Your body existed. But the moment you got up, you say, I slept like a log of wood. I did not have any senses whatsoever. Therefore, you are different from your body, who that you are. Therefore, there are several layers of mind, there are several layers of existence within there are several layers of conscience. The ultimate level of conscience is the Atma. That the Atma experience or something which covers that experience is the matter we are supposed to analyze. That's where the para on the dawn arrives that talks about it. A fellow who experiences everything, he feels other fellow who is not experiencing is contented. The fellow who is contented with everything, he does not know he is contented, he is also still in the same state, because this is our identification with our body, mind, integrated. That makes us feel content or otherwise content. So there's an evolution we have to go upon. It's a very involved topic, because that one paragraph dawn arrives. We can draw a reference to Munneru, the first chapter of Aka's last book. He talks about the states of a dream, awakenness, deep sleep. That's what she gives here. This was way back in 1990. Munneru, she wrote it in 2017. You can understand that she talked about it even that at that point in such science. And she knew that you would not have been mature enough to understand that. She reiterated that in 2017. We'll have to keep reading it, get a better understanding. None of us are here, authority on the subject, but we'll have to feel and experience. We can go to the next page.
Sir, only one thing I want to say, sir. There is a Upanishadic state which says, Yata vrikshasya sampushpitasya durad gandhova asyevam punyasya karmano durad gandhovati. That means, just like the fragrance of the tree is attracted to a very large area outside that place, the merit of a person who is devoted to the service as well as to the divinity, his name is attracted throughout the world, and it reaches the heaven also. Like that, today we see the Aka's greatness celebrated by all the things. It's something which is unimaginable. It is a great thing, and which reflects the commitment and also the unconditional love that people have towards her. And I am only reminded when you look at the Padakas of Sri Vedanta Desika, who wrote 1,000 and odd slokas on the Ranganatha Paduka. Like that, all the devotees here, they have been so kind and so remembering of the greatness of Sri Akka that they could decorate her in whichever form. See, at the end of the day, what we need to keep in mind is that she is visible to each one according to his own interpretation and according to his own understanding. Therefore, it is a great show which has happened. I am very happy to see this. It's a great thing which is happening even in the period of Corona. It is happening. It's very nice to say. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for observations, because it gives you another point of view how to go about. Basically, it's because of evolution. We cannot really jump into realization of Atma, but at least we can get into the realm of love, which is the only tool to get into realization of Atma. Can you go to page 3? Mandar, you are going to come back?
Yeah, Uncle, can I read?
You read. Before that, I have to say something. Mandar has got the nice opportunity coming twice, thanks to Srikanth not able to do. And this particular page I chose, I do not know why I chose. It talks about sugarcane. Vinayaka loves sugarcane. Mandar is also the name of Vinayaka. Please go ahead now.
To experience something, there should exist an enabling mechanism to sense, perceive, and feel. We know that if we bite into a sugarcane, we taste sweetness. It does not mean anything to the one who has never seen a sugarcane. If he is told that sugarcane will look like this, it will be tall, it will have joints, it will be strong, it has blade-like leaves, etc. With this description, if he attempts to bite into bamboo, he will hurt his mouth, teeth, and tongue. The very word sugarcane will make him recall only the sufferings he went through while biting into the bamboo. We are no different from the man who has not seen or tasted sugarcane. We are ignorant of what exactly is pleasure. We call the light that appears in the sky as lightning. We respect it and even measure it. This is true experience. Bhakti is the path to gain and experience true pleasure. It is the spark within us that guides us. God resides as the minute particles of the minute atom. Vedas say so and affirm so. Is there no dimension for this atom within atom? It appears as if it has no breadth or width. Yet, if we view it through a microscope, some shape can be identified. Yes, it will be visible. How did our body come about? How does it expand? Is it this body that gave form to the God particle? God is the true shape. We are another form, another of his form. A father has a distinct appearance and trait. His son will be born with some changes in appearance and trait. Son may resemble his mother. Daughter may resemble her father. A grandchild will carry the appearance of its grandfather. This chain never gets snapped. It is the order of evolution. Therefore, we are all children of God. Our form and capability are present in the Almighty, who has sent us to this earth. This truth is irrefutable. Even a small movement expands the reach of light and wind. In the same way, our love to envelope others through even small acts and words. Every one of you knows it well. You have received love from someone and have felt happy about it. You have also extended love to someone that made each other happy. Mind should be ready to extend love. Do come forward to give and receive love. God will be with you. Let your eyes shed the tears born out of love. When are you going to be overwhelmed by love that makes you choke and grope for words? I am keenly observing. I am yearning to see these feelings in you. I trust it will not be a long wait.
Thank you, Mentor. It was a very, very nice reading. I felt like listening to somebody, not some written thing is read out. And now this is open for discussion.
Yeah, Suresh Rao here. He's talking of the Akka is talking of the sufferings biting into the bamboo. Now it is the ignorance. It is like 6 blind men who went to see the elephant. Now you see some aspect of the life, and then you conclude that it is so. So what Akka is trying to say is that this ignorance gives us false sense of a pleasure. So that is why it is that is what it creates the problems for everyone, because we do not know what the truth is.
Thank you. Any other viewpoint?
Yeah, Uncle Mandar here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I noticed two things while I read. So the first thing which I kind of felt is the sentence which talks about where it says, "We are no different from the man who has not seen or tasted sugarcane." My take on this is to exactly know what is pleasure or what is love. I feel one has to initially feel it, and then he can understand the importance of being loved as well as love others. And one more thing I noticed was the fact of how it is mentioned that we are all the son of or daughters of God. So each one has something unique to offer. And so suppose if a father has a distinct appearance and trait, some of those appearances and traits will come to the next generation, but also there will be something unique to that generation. So those are my observations.
Thank you. Very good observation for your age.
Can we say that love is the basic emotion which will take us forward? Because once we have understood that all of us are coming from the same origin, then where is the necessity for getting angry or any such kind of emotion about the others? Whatever happens generally happens because of ignorance. Once we understand these two issues, then the love for everybody becomes easy, and that love itself will take us forward. At that time, we will let us understand we all are sitting together and listening. Why? Because all of us are part of Nandalala. It is a indirectly attachment which has no expectations except happiness. Love does not expect anything in return. It only gives happiness. That is why probably Shri Akka has spoken that the love is the most important, which is written in the last third para from bottom.
Any other view?
This is Gopi. There is this sentence I'm seeing on the screen also, but it gave me the goosebumps. It said, "I am keenly observing. I am yearning to see these feelings in you. I trust it will not be a long wait."
Correct. Can I take over for the sake of time? Because he posed a question, I'll try to answer that. I would like to put one line in light here. We call the light that appears in the sky as lightning. We respect it and even measure it. This is true experience. What Akka says is here about, she is talking about sugarcane. There are two people, one has tasted sugarcane, he's trying to explain to somebody else that somebody else go and bites into a bamboo, he does not know. Now, to you, to get the right path of wisdom, getting into an inquiry, you need a guru. That is the lightning. That is the stanza 40 of Saundaryalahari, where in Manipuraka Chakram, it's a very dark place. But Devi appears as a light. That light is the guru. That's what it goes thereafter to say. Therefore, we have got a guru. We have got a mother. She created another mother, Nandalala, for other. She is trying to tell you and even make you bite into a sugar cane and feel what it is. She is not allowing you to go to a forest and say, go and bite into a bamboo. She is willing to open that door. The second, what we talk about is, we discussed this the last couple of satsangs also about, Purnam and Velicham. We are all part of the same Puranam. So it's what makes is that our ego and our helplessness make it think that we are very different. For example, a person who has not received love or has not given love, like a person who has not tasted a sugar cane. Therefore, if you're in a position to receive love and tasted it, you know this is sugar cane. Therefore, I want to return to him sugar cane, not a bamboo. Therefore, it is a two-way transaction. In a way, a person can be evolved to extend love without expectation. That is one portion. Other person needs to experience love so that they can start giving love. This is like, I have to earn wealth before I can distribute it. But there are people who can keep earning wealth for the sake of keeping it. Now the love cannot be stored. Love expands only by giving it to other people. What occurs is that I have given you all in a nutshell. I know you all accepted me as your guru, as your goddess. But I am not sure whether all of you are evolved enough to give and take love. I am therefore waiting. What she says is that the moment you feel you are the particle of the same God. And what she says in the first stage is that God has no body. You are given body to him. You understand? God has no body. You are given body to him. So your body is as good as God. It's temporary, it'll go, you'll give another body to the same God. Therefore, where is the need for discrimination? Then once you realize that, tears will flow and you will not be able to even express your love in words. அக்கா அது தமிழ் எழுதும்போது நான் தழுக்க தழுக்க வார்த்தையே வரக்கூடாது, அப்படி உன் கண்ணில் தண்ணி வரணும், வாயில வார்த்தை வரக்கூடாது. Therefore, that love is expressed in emotions, not exactly in words. Words cannot really convey emotions. She says, I'm observing you. She says that these feelings have to come with your unconditional love that gives you tears, and it extends your love to everybody who needs in need of service, because we start a service organization. And she said she need not wait very long for that. All of you will turn into a person who has tasted sugarcane, and you will share the sugarcane with everybody. For want of time, I would like to go to the next page. If there is any doubt, please feel free to write a mail, because we are all available in mail or in the chat box. You put something. We will come back and try to take you through some other articles of Akka which explains your, which probably clears all the doubts you have. It gives us an opportunity to go through various other articles of Akka. We'll move to the next page for want of time. Aarti, you are ready?
Yes, uncle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Performance of any act presupposes three factors or causes. They are primary cause, subsidiary or supporting cause, and enabling cause. Suppose you want a gold chain, there must be the first cause, that is desire. You may or may not have money. Once you are determined, you will somehow find the resources or exchange an old one for the new one. Gold is part and parcel of the chain. To convert gold into a chain, one needs various implements like hammer, blowpipe, cutting plier, etc. These are the supporting causes. But these implements are required only till the chain is made. They vacate their space once the chain is made. Do you agree with me? I'm not saying something that you cannot understand. I like to convey the simple truth through known examples. Therefore, I have started making a chain. Once I unite you all, you will all become part of one chain. This is the belief with which I'm talking to you. Gold is available. To melt and shape it, implements are ready. Yet, this gold must be converted into a chain. Whom should I call? You all know that gold can be handed over to a goldsmith to make the chain. But the goldsmith is the enabling cause, the third factor I referred to earlier. He will make the chain, take his making charges, and leave the place. He will not cling to the gold chain he made. Like this, in this world, love is an act. This action will always remain with this world. The divine force and the karma of the people, the good and the bad acts of the past, are the subsidiary or the supporting causes. God is the implementing factor. You will understand the purport once you read, reread, and digest the above points. I am sure you have understood the example of the gold chain. I'm happy if you have grasped this much at this stage. Eventually, the entire truth will dawn on you. I have gathered you all under one umbrella of Nandalala. The primary cause for this is love. What are the supporting causes? Paddy and Bajra belong to the same family. They are sown at the same time, grow at the same time, harvested or perish at the same time. They are grown in different fields. In the same way, we go to different places, get shaped in different ways, assume different names, and are bridged by different relationships. Every mind has to be nurtured. No mind should be hurt. These are all the supporting causes. The implementing cause, which is the forces behind the creation of this Nandalala Samiti, are the Almighty, this world, and our need. That is why this Samiti has become a chain. We can garland anyone with this chain. Anyone can wear this. This chain of love will only gather more and more luster. Happiness alone will prevail, and everyone will be filled with joy all the time.
Thank you, Aarti. It was very pleasant listening to your calm voice. We will spend some time on this particular page. I think it's too straightforward. Any comment? And to share with you, this is the page which made me cry and cry way back in 91. The reason is that it's a simple page where Akka says that each one of you is gold. I am the goldsmith. I have the implement of love with me, nothing else. I am trying to use this implement to join you all into a nice necklace, garland, whatever you say. After I finish the role of my goldsmith, I will not be here. This was the message I got it way back in 90. I told her, why are you written it right at the start of this summit? Are you going to leave us? She said, no, it will take another 30 years. She took 28 years, of course. Then I said, this goldsmith had to be there. She said, you people are not just gold. Each one of you is a goldsmith. That made me think a lot at this point in time, because she put in so much of simple things, very complex things in a very, very simple fashion. What she says is that for any action, there are 3 requirements. You must have the desire, you must have the right tool, and you must have something to make it happen. To get into Akka herself, she is the combination of Vichya Sakti, Kriya Sakti, and Jnana Sakti. We have desire. The desire should be noble. We need knowledge to take the desire into the next level, but we need to act. It's Kriya Sakti so that we complete it. Akka says a few things. A goldsmith takes money and goes away. Akka is a goldsmith. She doesn't take money, she takes love. So her remuneration is the love. The remuneration she expects from us is that don't be a garland. This garland is not just yours. It has to adorn several people. You are in turn are going to be a goldsmith. These are the simple communication and all these things, if you keep reading this particular page, it will take very simple tools to live in this world much, much joyously than we do now. I jumped the, discussion from other people because I was overwhelmed with this particular page and cried and cried. And even today when I was translating, I could not control my tears. I welcome any thoughts from anybody else.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Rajalakshmi here. Hello.
Yeah, please carry on. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I feel that today, being 80th birthday, we will take a oath and resolution that we all become goldsmiths to spread like what Amma did for all of us. I feel that should be the good day for us to do it. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Can you hear me? I'm Shanti Rajagopal.
Please.
Yeah. In combining the previous page and this particular page, I feel here Akka is mentioning the love is not for the love for the family or friends. It is the compassion which we show to the known and unknown around us. And also Akka's last words where that we all should be united and be happy with each other was her last words. that Otumaya irungo, Vanna irungo, Sandoshamna. So that is what I feel Akka has been trying to do with all of us, trying to change us throughout her life. And I think we are also slowly coming into that path now. That is what is about these 2 pages.
Yeah, in a way, right? If I can read out the last 2 paragraphs, the portions of that. I have gathered you all under the one umbrella, Nandalala. The primary cause for this is love. She says the primary cause of bringing Nandalala is love. And she also said you are born in this world to perform the act of love. There are supporting causes for that, which is what she says that the supporting causes our love and affection for everybody. She talks about Paddy and Bajra. If you take Nandalala, we are all in several places. Some are in Madras, some are in Bangalore, some are in India, some are outside India, various places of India. We are like different types of food products or grains growing in several places. But we have one common thread. That is, we should become food for somebody. Therefore, we should become a part of Nandalala. We are not very different. Nandalala collects all of us. That is a cooperative society, collects all our love and gives to everybody. Then when he says that the implementing cause Nandalala has become a chain, we can garland anyone. What she takes is that, suppose I am Nandalala Seva Samachitras, suppose I am an office bearer, I cannot become possessive about Nandalala. Suppose I am an existing member, I cannot become possessive. I should open Nandalala to invite everybody into this space. That's what she says. You are a garland. You cannot wear it reversal and give it to your brother or sister. You have to give it to somebody else also. So that's where the whole thing comes about, is that Nandalala is for all. He is the universal mother. Therefore, you are also part of the same mother. You should invite people, more and more people, get them towards love. Therefore, there is no difference. Like Bajra or Paddy, we are all same crops. We are born to provide food to everybody. We are born to provide love to everybody. And I'd like if everybody to chew on this instead of trying to discuss, understand, and share your thoughts in a mail so that we can collage it and share it with everybody else. We'll move to next page, 5th page. And Niranjan from Austin, I suppose I called you. Are you available?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you very much. It's too early for you there.
No, it's fine. 7:40.
Okay. I thought it was Brahma Muhurtam there. Please.
You may wonder, if the gold chain is worn every now and then by all and sundry, would not the sheen fade away? Would not some links break? I know that your thoughts will wander on these lines. If at all this chain breaks, each one of you should take the role of a goldsmith. You have the flame of love with you. You will surely restore the link with this tool. If the sheen fades, you do have the polishing pond of love in you. You will soak the chain in the solution and make it more lustrous. Do I not know this? I am fully aware of all your intentions and course of actions, but I am eagerly waiting to witness how you will perform and how long will you take to accomplish. Creation, sustenance, and disappearance keep taking place silently, even as we are engaged in this conversation. None of these are within our control. None of these submit to our will and desire. The days we spend on this earth should be meaningful. Being one of the passive passengers is of no use. There is no guarantee that what I could not accomplish today can be postponed to the next day or completed the next day. The next day is not in our hands. We can introspect over the time that is wasted or lost. It may strengthen the belief that the times to come would be used fruitfully. But the moment in hand is all we own. Within this time that you own, you should bind yourself with love and get mature and filled with wisdom. When we discharge our duties without any attachment to the fruits thereof, we will be hearing a voice repeatedly from within. Please listen to it with undivided attention. The good deeds of ours will benefit our families at some point in time. We may not be alive at that time. That punya will stay as the foundation. Our future generations will enjoy the fruits of it. I reiterate what I have said. It is absolutely correct. Dry leaves will fall away, but fruits will not. There is a sturdy chariot that is beautifully decorated with festoons, flags, carvings, and paintings. Idol of the Almighty is seated inside the mandap of the chariot amidst fragrant fresh flowers. The chariot is to be manually drawn in the 4 streets surrounding the temple. For this purpose, there is a heavy rope attached to the chariot. We as a team hold the rope and draw the chariot carefully. What moves the chariot? Not the people, but the devotion, effort, dedication, unity, team spirit, and faith collectively draw this chariot. Every devotee yearning to take part in holding the rope, and we give every devotee the opportunity to draw the chariot, and this emotional involvement brings glory to this gesture. We are keenly interested in the expanse and reach of Nandalala Seva Samiti. Others' admiration is its identity card. This Samiti is the common property of good-hearted people. It is the true wealth of the dedicated devotees. What is printed in this article is nothing but what I have spoken to you and shared with you on several occasions. Spoken words may be forgotten. The printed words will always be with you. As you read this time and again, you will get more and more clarity and get enlightened. We will get closer and closer.
Thank you, Niranjana. I invite any observations, discussions on this.
Santanam here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is very highly emotional to listen to that. Even when we read, I mean, better than reading, when we hear, the emotive voice of Akka is resonating. One thing I find is that's a clarion call. It's a clarion call. It's now or never opportunity put before us. I feel we should grab this and then become a part and parcel of Nandalala in our thought, deed, as well as words. We should try to have some amount of action by which we put so much time or effort into the activities and then take the chariot along the 4 streets. That's what I get.
Thank you, Shantanam.
Shankar?
Yeah.
That is, a clear message on the adding more new people and the Alamaram Mari number Nandalala. இது நம்ம ஒரு எல்லாருமே ஒரு இது பண்ணி சேர்ந்துருக்கோம். இதை இன்னும் வளர விடணுமே தவிர நம்ம எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து அது பெரிய விருட்சமாக்கணும். தட் இஸ் அவர் கோல். பை இட் இஸ் a service tree and we are service people. That is the only motive. இது பெரிய சர்வீஸ் ட்ரீ நந்தலாலா. அதை நம்மளாம் சர்வீஸ் பண்ணி அக்காவோட பாதத்தை புனிதப்படுத்தணும். That is our spirit of our life.
That is the clarion call. That's what Santanam told. Any other take?
This is Shanti Rajagopal. Yeah, அதுல ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ் போட்டிருக்கு, மியூட் ஸ்பெக்டேட்டரா இருக்கிறதுனால ஒண்ணுமே பிரயோஜனம் இல்லைன்னு. ஸோ நம்ம சரி இப்ப அக்கா இருந்த வரைக்கும் போனோம், அக்காட்ட பேசியிருந்தோம், சரி ஏதோ இருக்கோ நம்மளுக்கு அவா யாரோ பண்றவா பண்ணட்டும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம வேடிக்கை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கிறதுக்கு டைம் இல்லை. இப்போ நம்ம ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் முன்னாடி அக்கா இருக்கிறச்ச எப்படி பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோமோ அதே இன்வால்மெண்டோட அதே மாதிரி நம்ம we should continue doing instead of being a mute spectator.
That's correct. See, what she says is that if you look at the first 3 paragraphs, you are the goldsmith, a constant goldsmith, each one of you. So when there is some kind of an irritation happens within yourself and the relation between 2 Nandas is break up, another Nanda should ensure that they are bound together. So this is the most important thing. The question of that each one should be a cement, a fevicol. We should go and bind everybody. Therefore, we should understand our role. But many times our ego, our helplessness, whatever that is, or other calls outside the service, it makes us a little bit, yield or compromise. There was a talk by Dr. Balakrishnan about, Atma is seeing us, which she gives a very clear answer in this particular page. What she says is that when we discharge our duties, which is discharge of love, without attachment, without any expectation, that means the fruits thereof, we will be hearing a voice repeatedly from within, please listen to it with undivided attention. The moment you use love as our instrument to interact with people, you become wiser. Because in our thinking, wisdom is something doing very smartly or greatly. Being smart is different from being wise. Therefore, what she says is that you cannot gain wisdom unless you extend love. It's the first step. And that love should be a continuous process. It's not that I love today, tomorrow I hate somebody. It's not that whole cause. So what she's saying is, this is the whole thing. You are all Goldsmith. She says, I am you actually. That's what she ends the whole topic with that. I think we should imbibe this particular page, read it again and again, understand our each soul, because the message for each one of us, not for somebody else and not for me. It message applies to me. I may be good at 90% of the time, 20% I may be selfish. I may be expecting something in return for any act I do. Therefore, what is in it for me? The minimum thing that always we get. If we went to Akka, we got all the problems solved. That is one part of it. But Akka, what she says is that you become part of Nandalal, do service, where problems are taken care of by me, because love is God. The moment you extend love, the love gives all the satisfaction you want. She talked about content with the second page. That's what that will happen to us once we go through this process. We'll go to the next page. Last page, Kritika.
Jainandalala, am I audible?
Yes, this is the 60th page. You are the 60th page of Lord Shanmuga. Carry on. Your name is Kritika for whatever reason.
As you read this article, some matters will appear to be as clear as rasam. Some matters will appear like a hard roti from the oven. Some will be as smooth and shiny as a halwa. Some may even look like the curd devoid of its cream. Some things will be as soft as steamed idlis or as crisp as a dosa straight from the tawa. It may be as cooling as thin buttermilk that quenches your thirst in one gulp. One can get some insight by just having a cursory glance like a cow that grazes on the tip of the grass but not going for the full length of it. One can go deeper and get a greater understanding. Why this reference to all this cooking and seasoning? We are used to relishing the food by tasting it in bits and pieces and then eating it heartily. Does a pinch of sugar satiate our hunger? It won't. Therefore, we eat a holistic meal that has a variety of all the 6 tastes. In the same way, the various contents of this article can be chewed and enjoyed irrespective of the place and time. This food will remain fresh, will never get exhausted. You can eat it heartily whenever and wherever you want and get fulfilled. Let us pray to God wholeheartedly thus. All achievements are yours, but you let the history carry our name. Truth is yours, but you do credit us with the glory of penance. Let us make knowledge public and share the fruits of it with everyone. Please accept our humility and let peace be ours. Let the speech be mine, but the glory yours. Let the eyes be mine, but let your compassion flow through it. Let the mind be mine, but let it please you. Don't seek from me every now and then pleading, give me this, give me that. I am inviting you into my fold loudly. Come in, come in, come in and dissolve in me. There is no you anymore. I am you. Believe this.
That was very, very emotional ending to this topic. I invite observations on this. We got another 5 minutes. Then we'll go to the last session of the satsang.
This last sentence, which is printed in the red line, is confusing. Most of us, we pray to her to give knowledge, vairagya, and attachment with her only. So, is this way of doing the prayer correct? That is the doubt which arose in my mind when I read, don't seek from me every now and then, leading, give me this, give me that. Because unless we are continuously in her presence, we will our mind will not be at peace. Our mind will not get unnecessary thoughts which are not helpful. So I was always under impression that daily praying to her is the right way of starting the day. So I am confused now.
And the whole thing is about what you want to seek. Because you are probably more advanced than many of us. I still want my project in the company to go through. I still want my grandchild to get better. I got lots of what I can say desires and needs in this world. What is it that you approach God with a particular purpose? You approach God for whatever you need in this world. You approach God because you are afraid of something. You approach God for the sake of God. If you are approaching God for the sake of God, this does not apply to you. He knows when to take you. If you reach that situation, I am approaching God for the sake of God, you will be led into a amount of contemplation. You will find that you are none other than the God. The body is different from the you are calling yourself, that you and Akka are the same. Still, we are attached to this body. We are unable to think beyond this body. Though I long for being with God, I'm afraid of being with God. Because if I have to be with God, I have to discard this body. However evolved I am afraid of shedding this body. Therefore, Akka says is that you are me, I am me. You become formless, I become formless. We are the same. So if you get to the level of maturity, maybe you are on the 17th step of Sabarimala, 18th step is where will you take it. I am still on the first step. So Akka talks about everybody. If you take this entire thing, Akka talks about, cookery. See, the way she conveys is that, she took the example of a sugar cane, which very amusing for us. She took the example of a goldsmith, which made us cry. She took the example of a simple thing, food. What is written in this article can, for somebody, it's like a juice. You can drink it. Probably you are at the level of looking at the rasam. We all release rasam, which is a divide of everything. If a sambar is called a concoction of something, you remove the thickness out of it, it becomes rasam. You have removed the thickness out of it, you are still saying rasam. That rasam also disappear in Akka. That's also to dissolve in. That's one point of people who are evolved. There are many people who cannot be evolved at that stage because we have got duties to perform in this world. That's why what this book says is that for somebody it is ready to eat rasam. For somebody it is ready to drink buttermilk. For somebody who wants to read it superficially, it is something else. But you come back and eat it. This is basically what she says is that you have to read it. I'm reading it right from 1990. Still, I'm not fully understood what she wants to tell me, but I know there is some clarity. I should be as less selfish than I was by yesterday. I should be able to interest of other people than I looked at yesterday. Basically, this is what she's talking about. The moment love is your only tool, you are me, I am you. Maybe I thought this is my take on this entire article.
Jainantala Lankar, Malti Balakrishnan speaking. I just wanted to read few lines I penned down for Akka. Anbin Urvabe Madivoli, Karunai Kadale Karpagame Madioli. Can you hear me?
I am hearing you. Please carry on.
Anbin Urvame Amma Madioli, Karunai Kadale Karpagame Madioli, Unnai Kanborin Inbabe Madioli, மீண்டும் மீண்டும் காண துடிக்குமே மதியொளி தோன்றும் திசையெல்லாம் நிறைந்திருப்பாள் மதியொளி அம்மா உன்னை இதயத்திலிருந்து வாழ்த்தினோம் எங்கள் இமைகள் கொட்டாமல் காத்து நின்றோம் அம்மா மதியொளி அழகு புன்னகை சிந்தையே அம்மா மதியொளி நாம் இரண்டல்ல ஒன்று என்றாய் மதியொளி இந்த தத்துவத்தை எமக்கு உணர்த்தினாயே மதியொளி இந்த தத்துவத்தை எமக்கு உணர்த்தவே மதியொளி மனித உருவில் வந்தாயே அம்மா மதியொளி அது எங்கள் பாக்கியமே மதியொளி ஞான ஒளி தந்து உணரச் செய்தாய் அம்மா மதியொளி ஒளி வெள்ளம் பெருகிட வந்தாயே சரஸ்வதி அதில் மனம் திளைத்து நிற்கின்றோமே அம்மா மதியொளி நின் தாள் பணிந்து நிற்கின்றோம் அம்மா மதியொளி சகல சௌபாகியம் தந்து வாழ்த்தினாயே மதியொளி அன்பின் உருவமே அம்மா மதியொளி மதியொளி சரணம்.
Thank you for that nice poem. Any other observation on this paragraph before we conclude?
This is Kritika from Chennai. As I read this page, I thought I can share some of the thoughts that entered my mind. Not just this page, as the entire in entirety. With the 5 senses, she has mentioned when it is the taste of the sugar cane, the animals observing, or the child, so that does not want to step on the soil, the feel, the skin. So we have the 5 senses already, and in the end she comes and gives us the 6th sense and says, you sense that we are one. I am you and you are me. We are together. So I see her as our 6th sense in the entirety of how it has developed.
You are in a way right. The 6th sense, she is not the 6th sense. She is the one who makes your 6th sense operate. This is like Gayatri Mantra. One who lights a spark in me, I am praying to you. So she is the real spark in you. She talks about spark all the time in this couple of pages. She is the spark actually. Therefore, that's why there are quite a few layers. And that's why, the sugarcane example is very nice. A fellow who has experienced Atma, he knows how sugarcane is there. I cannot teach somebody to go and experience Atma, but I can teach him the path. The path is the path of love and devotion, trying to be as less selfish as possible. We are not going to feel that we are one with Akka, we are Akka in one birth. It is going to take a while. But the speeder we travel, the better for us. She is waiting for us in the road to travel. That's my take from this whole article. If there is any other comment, we will take it, or I can please write the questions to us, post it on your thoughts, whatever it is that we can discuss in several satsangs, because that gives us the interest to continue satsang for items which are not clarified or clear, because nobody is an authority here. Everybody was given their views, their authority by themselves. So probably we have to gather all these things, understand, but only one thing is very clear. Let us be together. Let us understand each other. Let us get more people into our fold. We will extend love only, nothing else. Then everything, Atma realization will follow. It will take another 10 births. I have no problems. As long as I'm going to only ascending in the snake and ladder game, I don't get into a snake and fall to the number 1 position. I want to be in 100, not between 99 and 98. So let us pray for that to happen. And if there is no other comment, I would ask Kalyani to proceed to the next session.
Yeah, Uncle, before I play the next video, I just wanted to show a couple of pictures. Actually, what happened was we faced a little bit of technical issue, as well as some photos we got late, and we did not want to hurt anyone. So I would just like to display all the pictures of the Path Puja we've got till now.
Sure. Anyway, we are going to record it. No, that will give a much better.
Yeah. Okay, so this first picture is from Mrs. Sharada Ramana Kumar from Mylapore. Then I'd like to move on to actually a very special picture. So as you all know, there were about 157 and odd pictures, and I had gone through each and every one of them a couple of times because I had to do a long process, rename everything. And this picture actually caught my attention, and I tried in putting it in the video, but every time I tried to do it, it showed me a technical error and I didn't figure out why. So I thought I'd just show it. So if you can notice in the picture, normally what I observed from the pictures that were there in the video, it's either a silver form of Amma's Paduka, or it's in the form of photos, or some people have even taken it on their phone and shown that that's a very innovative one as well. But this one, what I noticed was it's Amma's footprints herself. So in her physical form, she's actually done this. This is in Mrs. Renu Chandra's house. And as you can observe, it's Sri Akka's footprint. And one more one which we received was, of course, from our very own Vrindavan from Chennai. This is the puja being performed. Yeah, now I'd show the Path Puja video.
सेवितं कपितजम्बूफलसारभक्षणं सीतम् उमासुतम् शोकविनाश कारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पाद पङ्कजम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पाद पङ्कजम्
அலைமோதும் ஆனைக்காபதி வாழும் அகிலாண்ட அன்னையின் பாதம் போற்றி. மலையவன் செல்வி மாணிக்க தேவியின் மாண்புசேர் பாதம் போற்றி. உலகாள வந்த ஒரு கொண்டு நிற்கின்ற உமையவள் பாதம் போற்றி. கலைவிழி காட்டிடும் கற்பனை ஊட்டிடும் களிகொண்ட தோகை போற்றி. அன்பரை காப்பவள் அருளதை ஊட்டுவள் அன்னையே போற்றி போற்றி. துன்பமே போக்கிடும் துணையெனத் தோன்றுவள் தூய்மையே போற்றி போற்றி. மண்பதை ஒய்த்திட மாமழையாம் அவள் மாரியே போற்றி போற்றி. தன்படை கொண்டு பல் தரணியை காத்தவள் தாய்மையே போற்றி போற்றி. ஆனைக்கா வாழ்கின்ற அன்னை போற்றி. அன்பர் துயர் தீர்க்கின்ற அருளே போற்றி. ஞானங்கள் மிகுக்கின்ற விளக்கே போற்றி. ஞாலங்கள் புறக்கின்ற தாயே போற்றி. மோனத்தில் நின்ற முழு முதலே போற்றி. முப்போதும் அருள் கூட்டும் முகிலே போற்றி. ஈனம் பிறப்பருக்கும் இறைவி போற்றி. ஈசனோடு ஆடிடும் இணையே போற்றி.
மதிவொளியை மணி மீது வைத்து கதியிலே நீ என்றிருந்தால் நாள் நன்மையே செய்யும் கோளும் தோள் கொடுத்து காக்கும் காலம் காவலாகும் என்னும் எழுத்தும் எடுபிடியாய் நிற்கும் ஐந்து போதமும் எட்டு திக்கும் ஐயமின்றியே கட்டுப்பட்டு நிற்கும் உயிரினமோ ஜடப்பொருளோ உருவம் பெற்றதோ அருவமானதோ எவரோ எதுவோ எவ்வினமோ பாதகம் மறவே நீக்கி குறைவற்ற சாதகமே பயக்கும் ஐம்பொறியும் ஐம்புலனும் முழுமையும் முழுமனதும் முழு சித்தமும் முழு பிறவியும் தடையற்ற ஆரோக்கியமும் குறைவற்ற வாழ்வும் பற்றின்றி பெற்றிருக்கும் மதிவொளியை பற்றுவதால் உலகும் முச்சக்தியும் முழுதும் தன்னிலடக்கிய மதிவொளி அருட்பதிகம் இதை முக்காலமுமே தியானிப்பவர்க்கு எக்காலமுமே பயமில்லை ஜெயமேயாம். எக்காலமுமே பயமில்லை ஜெயமேயாம். முன்வினை பின்வினை யாவும் மறுபட்டு இம்மையில் இடையரா கழிப்பும் நல்கி மறுமை என்ற பிறவியே இன்றி அவள் பாதம் உறுதி சித்திக்குமேயாம். மதிவொளி பாதம் உறுதி சித்திக்குமேயாம். மதிவொளி பாதம் உறுதி சித்திக்குமேயாம்.
वनस्पतिरसोद्भूतगन्धाट्य सुमनोहर आग्रेय सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम्. साज्यं त्रिवर्ति संयुक्तं बह्निना योजितं मया गृहाणमङ्गलं दीपं त्रैलोक्यं तिमिरापहम्. அலையின் ஒளியாம் மதிவொளி உண்மையின் வெளிச்சம் மதிவொளி மயக்கத்தை மாய்க்கும் மதிவொளி, அன்பின் உருவம் மதிவொளி, ஒற்றுமையில் ஓங்கும் மதிவொளி. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம். ஓம் பூர்புவஸ்வஹ तत्सद्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. देवसवितः प्रसुवाः सत्यं तत्तेन परिषञ्जामि अमृतोपस्तरणमसि. प्राणाय स्वाहा, बाणाय स्वाहा, ध्यानाय स्वाहा, उदानाय स्वाहा, समानाय स्वाहा, ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा. मधुवळि मातावे नमः. मादुरङ्गफलं, कदलीफलं, मैसूर पाक सर्वं निवेदयामि. निवेद्यानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि.
பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம். பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம். எமையாளும் மதியொளி தாயே, உலகாளும் மதியொளி தாயே, உன் சேவடி செவ்வே திருக்காப்பு. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம். பல கோடி நூறாயிரம். அகிலாளும் அருளே உன் அவதாரமே, அண்டம் தாண்டி பல்லாண்டு. அகிலாளும் அருளே உன் அவதாரமே, அண்டம் தாண்டி பல்லாண்டு. கண் கண்ட தெய்வமே காருண்யமே, கண் கண்ட தெய்வமே காருண்ய ஊற்றே, காலம் வென்று பல்லாண்டு. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு. அலையின் மொழியா மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. உண்மையின் வெளிச்சம் மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. மயக்கத்தை மாய்க்கும் மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. அன்பின் உருவமே மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. ஒற்றுமையிலோங்கும் மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. ஒற்றுமையிலோங்கும் மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. அகர உகர மகர ஓங்கார மதியொளி பல்லாண்டு. மதியொளி நல்கிய நந்தலாலா பல்லாண்டு. மதியொளி நிரவிய சேவையாவும் பல்லாண்டு. மதியொளி சேவையில் சேர்ந்தோர் பல்லாண்டு. மதியொளி நாமம் போதுவோம் பல்லாண்டு. மதியொளி நாமம் கேட்போர் பல்லாண்டு. இத்திரை பல்லாண்டை நாளும் இசைப்போம், நாளும் கோளும் நயக்க புவனராஜ கணபதி காக்க. இத்திருப்பல்லாண்டை நாளும் இசைப்போம், நாளும் கோளும் நயக்க புவனராஜ கணபதி காக்க. எந்நாளும் ஒளிர்வோம் மதியொளியால் பல்லாண்டு. எந்நாளும் ஒளிர்வோம் மதியொளியால் பல்லாண்டு. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம்.
Kalyani, is there anything else left?
No, almost everything over, whatever we planned.
Okay, thank you everybody. It's a great day. We celebrated Aka's birthday in a very different manner. Through digital medium, everybody participated. We had more than 100 people participating. If you count the number of people in each family, the participant could be crossing 200 or so. And we should meet the next satsang, maybe in another 15 days, coinciding Vijayadashmi. At that time, if there is any topic you want to discuss, please write to us so that we can take the topic. Otherwise, because some people have said there are some heavy topics being talked last 3 times, I'll try to choose a few topics which are needed for us to live in this world about success. We'll be successful, but we don't know how to celebrate success. If you all agree, our next section will be on how to celebrate success. That should be very interesting because that everybody can contribute. And well, thank you very much all. Wish you all the blessings from Akka. Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you probably sometime during Vijayadashmi. We'll fix the time and let you know. Thank you very much.
Jai Nandalala.
Thank you very much. Jai Nandalala.
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 Jai Nandalala. Madhyoli Charanam.
Madhyoli Charanam.